And we are live. Welcome to episode 1 of 50 Fathoms. Welcome to Caribdus. I am your admiral. I guess I haven't really settled on a title for my person just yet. But Will Thompson is the name, and I am very excited to bring you this fantastical Savage Worlds adventure. We had an abortive first attempt at this a few months back where just schedules fell apart and things didn't work, and it's been in the back of my mind ever since. They're festering like a tumor, and I am just excited to get it excised and be able to use this half of my face again. But with me this evening are a couple of returning players, Larry and Drew, and some new players. Not just their first time on the show, but the first time with us. So we will start in order across the screen as you guys see it now, from left to right, with Larry Williams. Larry Williams, introduce yourself.
Larry Williams. I will be playing Faye, the chef. He was he stowed away on a ship.
Oh, why are you not there? What the shit?
I don't know.
I'm there.
I'm not there.
No.
Ambrose is definitely not there. Keep
Yeah.
talking. I'm going to fix something
Yeah,
in the background.
so,
Episode 0.
Chef stowed away on a ship from Day King, which is like Little China. He basically grew up on open waters. He learned how to cook. That's his specialty. He can cook all types of food. He also is an adept martial artist, but he doesn't really like to fight. He's rather the slight pacifist. Only fights if he needs to, but loves to cook. He's a portly fellow, older, almost 50 years old.
Thank you for the follow, tech support gamer.
Yeah. So that's.
But this was a you introduction. We've learned just a fuck ton about
Me?
Chef.
Yeah. The me introduction. I don't know. What do you want to know?
Just a little about you see, this is like the that first day in class, right? Where
I live in Virginia. I work for a big Fortune 50 company. I've got a wife, kids. I'm a Lean Six Sigma black belt, if you all know what that means.
Oh my.
Yeah, it's very important stuff.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Yeah.
So that is Larry Williams. Thank you for that. Next up, we have a brand new player here, David Keck, if I am not mistaken. Yes.
That's right.
Yes. Tell us a little bit about yourself, David.
My name is David Keck. I'm from Illinois, in the middle of nowhere, about halfway between Chicago and St. Louis. I'm a special ed teacher. I have 3 kids, beautiful wife, and a collection of over 250 board games behind me.
Nice.
That's my predominant. That's my predominant hobby. And I'm playing Scroot.
We'll get to Scroot. We'll get to Scroot.
Oh, okay.
Family man, special ed teacher, right? Which I got to say will probably be a very useful skill set, given what I know of a couple of these people.
Yeah.
Just in the play atmosphere so far, that'll be very, very handy. Next up, we have Rusty Porter. Rusty Porter, tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. Hello, my name is Rusty Porter. I live in Arizona in the United States. I am father of 2, married, and I teach 6th grade Latin to a bunch of kids at a middle school here in Arizona. So that's exciting.
That is a ridiculous statement, but continue, please. Yes.
Yeah, I have fun with that. No, it's a great time, honestly, and yeah, just been playing Savage Worlds here for quite a while. I started back in my early teens with the Explorers Edition, and been going strong ever since.
Excellent. Seasoned Savage World, yet another educator. It's we're losing diversity, honestly. I didn't realize we had all these teachers. I'm gonna have to mix it up a little. But next up, we have Joseph Palacio. Is that it? Bellacchio? I don't know. Is it Bellacchio?
It's whatever you want, really.
How do you say it?
I mean, I say Palacio, but
Palacio? Excellent.
could be completely wrong.
How about Joey Pats, huh?
Who told you?
Yeah.
Who told you?
Mm-hmm.
Like Will said, my name is Joey Patton. I'm from the great state of Texas. I didn't always live here, but I got here as fast as I could. I think that's one of the most important things. I am not a teacher. I am avidly not. I am a
Avidly not.
I'm a software engineer, so I just beat my head up against the keyboard all day. Really, it's about my own skill set.
Fair. Excellent. Software engineer from the great state of Texas. And last but certainly not least, we have Andrew Brown. Andrew Brown, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Andrew Brown, yeah. I do work at a school, but God almighty do I try and avoid being in the school building. Been playing with you Deadlands D&D for years?
Years and eon and age.
Yeah, so I look forward to being hacked to death on a desert island, or hacked to death in the bottom of a ship, or hacked to death just in my own bed.
My bet is in a jungle. That's what
I'm
shooting for. Hacked to death in a jungle. If I had to put my bennies on it, that's where I would say you were going to end up just a slab of meat in a jungle.
Mm-hmm.
But, fantastic, that being established, I dislike children, and I'm not an educator myself. But I run this channel. I'm here 3 shows a week. I do all the art, the sound sets, the production, the management, the social media. If I read a credit scroll, it would just be one of those ridiculous fucking things that, it's just my name over and over again for like 3 pages, and then special thanks to Pinnacle Entertainment Group because, they make the actual D&D content, oh my god, the Savage Worlds content that we are running. I haven't played D&D in like a year. What am I even talking about at this point? It's Drew's reference to it, frankly, but aside from that, just a little bit of channel maintenance before we dive into the actual meat and taters here. Right, we are still recruiting somebody for our Wednesday Deadlands campaign. Do you like the Weird West? Would you like to be a crazy martial artist that can punch through people with their chi? Or a weird scientist that has made a aerosol spray that makes you temporarily bulletproof while also insane? Would you like all of that to transpire in the late 1800s? Well, then you should hit the follow button on the channel and hit that Discord banner to join the community and, apply. Because you could be right here in the action with us. And if that's not your scene, well, why not check out Friday nights, where we have our long-running zombie survival horror phenomenon, Dead is Better, where people roleplay themselves and die horrifically for my shits and giggles predominantly. But that's it. And with that, we are going to get established. So, we are going to start in the crow's nest of a frigate with Brian O'Brien. Brian O'Brien, you are the navigator on a pirate frigate. You haven't always been a pirate, but you're sometimes pirate, as witnessed, of course, by the P deeply embedded into your forehead by the branding irons of, the British. And you find yourself on your 3rd day of a pursuit of a merchant sloop. Your captain has said that this will be an excellent haul and that it will not be very long in the pursuit, given the headwinds, before you will claim your prize. It should be undefended, right? Just some Marines on the deck, no cannons to speak of. It was planning on using subterfuge to cut through its route. And at long last, you give me a notice roll. And it is his very first roll of the game, so
Yes.
give us a second. Hello, Open Cipher. Oh, thank you so much for the resub. You're wonderful.
I don't know how to
Traits
use
tab.
Fantasy Grounds.
Oh, well,
So
you
you-
open
oh.
your character sheet, and then you just double-click on Notice in the skills there.
Oh, sorry. It's literally right there.
Yep, poof, a 5, which succeeds your target number by 1. Also don't know why my rules aren't up right now. Everything is screwy. But that is fantastic, because a 5 means that you notice there is a mast on the horizon. Right? But something else that you notice is that despite your years of an innate sense of the winds, right? You've spent a long time at sea, and you've always had a predilection for the coming and going of a storm, the best tack to take a ship, right? You notice that there is a ill tiding on the wind. It's changing rapidly in an unpredictable fashion, in a way the likes of which you have never seen. But on a 5, you have not noticed specifically what is going on, but a mast in the distance, in the general direction of the ship you were in pursuit of.
He turns to his captain and says, "Oi, Cap! Is a
Shouts
ship?
down from the crow's nest, yes?
Oi, Cap! Is a ship coming?"
And as you shout that down from the crow's nest, why don't you describe yourself in your wonderful Irish brogue?
Well, my Irish broke is
Oh.
broke.
Broke.
They're always after his Lucky Charms, first and foremost.
Okay.
Wow.
No, go ahead, man.
I honestly probably can't keep up the Irish accent.
That's
but,
fine. Just what do you look like?
He's I'm I guess middle-aged man.
Mhm.
Pretty Irish looking, you know, the green eyes, brown hair, reddish beard. Like you said, pirate. You know, not much one for staying in one spot, but very much a vagabond. Travels with the wind wherever it takes him. Wherever opportunities may be, actually.
And what exactly are the circumstances that led you to find yourself branded with a large P on your forehead?
Well, I was actually innocent. I'm not a pirate.
Mm-hmm.
I was running a rival merchant ship, and you know, these people found dirt on us. I think they planted dirt, to be honest with you, because you know we were not commercing stolen goods. That would be terrible.
Of course.
unspeakable. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, then.
So you were branded a pirate, but you didn't do it.
No. Oh, of course not. No.
And the fact that you're on a pirate ship now, about to engage in an act of piracy, would
I mean,
lead
that's
us
just-
all,
I'm just a victim of circumstance in that
Just-
situation.
of course, victim of circumstance. That makes that clear as day. Clear as day. Excellent. Fantastic. Moving on then. Ambrose Avon. You are 3 months into your sea journey, and boy, 3 weeks into your sea journey. Yeah,
Been
3
going in
months,
circles
man.
in the ocean for 3 months.
And where the hell is the new world? You have a private cabin aboard a schooner that,
Yeah, he came back.
We have lost tech.
Oh, he came back though. The
Oh,
camera's not on, but he's back in the call.
Yeah, there he is. Excellent.
There he goes.
But you have a private cabin aboard this schooner, which is stuffed to the brim with your alchemical reagent. And he's gone again. So,
Okay.
Well, this is an aspect ratio issue there. Is he gonna be here for good this time? I'm doubting it. There's always
Hopefully.
technical issues on episode 0, folks. I apologize. If you've been watching for a while now,
There he is. He's
you'll
back.
know. Yeah, he's here for a second, but it lasted about 4 seconds last time, so I'm just gonna stare at him real intensely.
So
And
maybe
it
my
seems to be
Discord
fixed.
crashing.
Excellent.
Sorry, guys.
Just got eye lasers. You have been headed to the New World in search of the reagents that you think will allow you to complete your...
Vial. There's a potion that I keep in my pocket at all times, and it needs to be completed soon. I am 68 years old, and for 50 of those years I have been on a journey. I have heard about alchemy in my days in Cambridge. Those fools laughed at the Philosopher's Stone, laughed at the tales. They didn't see the truth of the matter. This is the only way that we can progress in this world. Exploration of the arcane, exploration of the old masters. By all accounts, this should be fixed, it should be finished. But it's missing something. It's missing a key ingredient. And it has to be in the New World. El Dorado's there, the Fountain of Youth is there, everything is there. And it's been 3 weeks on this miserable boat. I will have my youth again. I have sacrificed too much for this.
So, at this point in your 68 years on Earth, Ambrose Avon, how much magic have you discovered?
That's not important. It's the knowledge along the way. I can save a man's leg from rotting. That's magic. Philistine.
So the real magic is the friends you make along the way? Is that?
It's what you've learned.
It's what you've learned.
I know the theories that keep people healthy. I know how to make gold dissolve in liquid and then precipitate it out again. It's the same gold. But you wouldn't understand. None of you would understand. You sound like them.
What I don't understand, Ambrose, is why we have not gotten a notice roll.
Well, because you can ask for one.
The ship begins to heave at a ungodly tilt, as though the waves have kept up from nowhere. The captain assured you that the sailing would be smooth, or you had not been in the middle of preparing and tinkering with your vials and filters and reagents and alembics and whatnot, your glassware, right? But now you find the ship pitching quite violently back and forth, throwing you to and fro. Your glassware inkling.
No, that fool has brought us into a squall. Or hurricane, or whatever they're called. I'm going to try and secure some choice materials into my satchel, and then just try and secure everything in the room. Just buckle it down.
Mm-hmm.
Can't go up there now.
Why don't you give me an agility roll? And this will happen at a -1. Boy, this deck is heaving back and forth.
Nope.
And you are
The
not a
first
man
one
with
there,
sea legs.
it's a critical
the first
failure.
one was
The first one was the roll.
You fall, fortunately not breaking your glassware, but taking a level of bumps and bruises due to your very aged nature and slamming into the deck. Unfortunately, there is no life alert. So,
No. My hand immediately goes into my pocket to see if the vial is intact.
The vial is in fact intact, but boy, that was a close call. You were going to have words with this captain.
Steady myself. See if I can't heave myself out of the cabin. This settled immediately.
Excellent, excellent. And with that, we are moving on again. Back to the good frigate. Well, excuse me, to the first time to the good frigate. Captain Porter, remind me, what is the name of your vessel, sir?
The HMS Palace.
The HMS Palace. Aboard the Palace with him is its full complement of 25 rough and ready sailors, 10 Marines, a Asian chef, and of course, the young cabin boy, everybody's favorite, Scroot. And I believe you are in the middle of a trade route, if I recall correctly. Just an average, everyday mercantile run.
Scrooge?
Is Scroot on the
Oh,
mute?
I'm here.
No,
Oh,
did your thing?
he's here. Yeah, everything's good there.
Okay.
Yeah, Captain Porter, mercantile run?
Yeah, so we had just captured some booty off of Spanish ships, and we were escorting them back.
You were escorting the ships back or the booty back?
Sorry, the merchant ships loaded with the booty.
Ah, excellent, excellent. Fantastic. Took a galleon, I'm assuming? Something along the trade routes, maybe in a spot of inclement weather. Yes, yes. And is this due to a general disdain for all things not British, or due to some kind of privateer mark?
Oh, absolutely. So, Captain Porter absolutely cannot stand anything other than good, solid British things, whether that's people, ships, money, doesn't matter. Anything not British,
Yeah, lesser. Your empire is one that the sun never sets on and has brought civilization to all corners of this world, I believe, is your,
And why would you want anything else? Let's be
Right.
honest.
So, having requisitioned some mercantile goods from some degenerate Spaniards, right? You are on your way back to merry old England, I take it? Excellent, excellent. And with that established, we are going to go below deck. Sun's shining, everything's good, calm, clean skies. Your report from your navigator is that you are making wonderful time. The ship is freshly careened, all the ropes are circled, all the knots are tied. Your boys are scrubbing down the deck. I mean, you are running a tight ship. Literally, a tight ship. What isn't being run so tightly is the huge mass of potatoes that Scroot is attempting to carry to the waiting chef, who has to prepare dinner for everybody. Now, it's unusual that there would be provisioning like fresh potatoes. It's only due to the recent capture of the mercantile ship that taters are on the menu at all. So, Chef finds himself slightly impatient with the bumbling cabin boy, who has been a long time coming and then still has to go for the carrots, too. So, very first off, we are under deck. There are dim lighting conditions. The ship is rocking back and forth, and we are going to do Chef first, because David's Discord will not stay open. It might require a complete system reset, my dude, at this point. I'm not sure what that would be if you have closed Discord and reopened Discord. Some people struggle with a 7-way Discord call, too, but, I mean, this is not a very resource-intensive process, but we are going to switch to Chef. Chef,
Yeah.
this kid's taking his sweet-ass time with your taters.
As usual, Screw. He's about as bad as I used to be when I first got on these ships. I don't think I can rely on the boy. I've been on these seas since I was 10 years old. I left Day King. Haven't looked back since. Stowed away on my own pirate ship. I was raised by the men on that ship, and they promised to kill me several times. I don't know why they did, but made my way, learned how to cook, learned how to protect myself, but don't really much like fighting. I'm a chef by trade. I'd rather be in the kitchen than up top. Don't really like the seas very much. Like to cook. Don't judge me by the portly stature. I can handle my own if I have to, though. I don't like cooking much. Honestly, I'd rather cook than fight. I'd rather eat than talk.
Now that you mentioned your portly stature, why don't you describe yourself for us ever so slightly?
Chef, big guy, older guy, 50. He, from Day King, so he's Chinese background, but he wasn't raised by them. He left at about 10 years old. So, sounds like a regular, sailor. It's kind of where he spent most of his life, but he's a pretty big guy. Yeah, you can tell he does like to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got the obese hindrance, in fact, doesn't he? Which you'd be hard pressed to do.
He does, but don't judge him by that because he can kick some ass if he has to. He doesn't really much like fighting. He'd rather settle things over a nice dinner.
Speaking of fighting, Larry, his character here, Fei Chef Yu, is actually the first character we've ever had in a Savage World session in the live stream that will kill you better while not holding a weapon than he does with it. It literally does more damage unarmed than he does with a meat cleaver. So bear that in mind about his gentle nature.
There's muscles under all those layers.
Oh, indeed there are. Indeed there are. Unfortunately, oh no, he's not just sitting. I thought he was frozen doing the kawaii woo woo face, but is he here? Oh, yeah, there we go.
Screw.
Yeah,
Screw. Bring those potatoes over. Come on.
Screwed. Can we hear you?
Yes.
You are dashing above the mid-deck along the, powder monkey lines. You are small enough at your age that it's much quicker than trying to move between all the sailors and the bedding and the provisions and the this and that. But still, you're running behind a row of cannons, hunched over with a full sack of potatoes in a very small space. Give me an agility roll at a -1. You are fortunate there, my friend. You stumble, and a potato falls out into the air, and you manage to snatch it and shove it back into the sack as you slip down the port onto the chef level to stand in front of the very impatient chef. What does he see?
Well, he sees Scroot, 15-year-old wannabe pirate. He's like 5'6", stick thin, tattered clothes, pretty scrappy though. I would say probably like that farm boy build. Dirty
real
blonde
wiry.
hair.
Hasn't put on his puberty muscle yet.
Yeah. I mean, you could tell he's been beaten up, probably some bruises. You could tell that he's had to kind of fend for himself.
Yeah, you don't get the nickname Scroot if you're a well-loved individual, generally. Yeah.
Correct.
So, if I'm not mistaken here, your whole idea, right, is to you join a Navy ship until they get accosted by pirates and then immediately declare pirate. That's your...
Sure,
you can't wait. You just... one of these days they're going to lose a fight to pirates and then that's your doorway. Is that your gateway into piracy?
Yeah, I think his background has slavery ties.
Yeah.
And so he's a little angry with the system.
Oh, so you are not a willing cabin boy then?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think he's at this point he is some sort of indentured servant type.
And how long have you been in your indentured servitude then?
I think as long as he can remember.
Yeah.
And at one
probably
point
about 7 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they start you 7, 8, something like that. you're old enough to follow instructions, but still small enough to do all the monkey tasks.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're on the tail end of cabins, boy. I mean, you're about to collect a proper, portion.
He's about to age
Cabin's
out.
man.
Cabin's
He's about
man.
to age out. Let some people down.
These pipes are clean. No, that's a whole different cabin, boy. Never mind. All right, moving on. Dating myself with early 90s film references. Chris Elliott. Strong hand. But Brian O'Brien. Wind is definitely picking up. It is an interesting set of circumstances because it is blowing in the opposite direction of where you assumed it would have been coming from, given the way the birds have been traveling, given the way the ship has been tacking, given the trade winds in the area. Right, and you are forced to yell down that they need to make an adjustment to the tack, and will give me another notice roll. Excellent. That is fantastic. Not only did you get a notice, but you got a notice with a raise. Despite the unfavorable wind conditions, you are still gaining on the ship in front of you. And it is kind of obvious from its silhouette now, at about 5 miles out, right, that this thing is not a schooner. It's not a schooner at all. In fact, it appears as though you might be gaining on the ship because these things haven't been sailed for like 250 years. And we cannot hear you.
Oh no.
Now we can hear you.
There you go.
Hey. Oh no, what could it be?
Wow.
Well,
And the Oscar goes too. Holy shit.
Again, he yells down to Captain. Cap, the wind's turning. We need to adjust the, did you say tap?
Yes, the tack. Yeah.
The tack, yeah. Captain, we need to adjust the tack. The wind is changing. And you're not going to believe this, but there's a ship in front of us. That shouldn't be.
Any ship that's in front of us is as good as the next.
Cap.
We'll
this
cut their
ain't
lips
right.
and noses off, same as the last.
All right. Well, this ship looks about 200 years old.
Have you been in the rum?
Only enough to be sober.
I'm gonna need a persuasion roll, sailor.
Cap, I'm telling you, it's real.
Been in the
It's old. My bowl's full. It's plumb full.
Your captain clearly doesn't believe you, but has noticed the wind change as well and is going to follow the tack advice, but it's going to have a disposition change towards you. Man, you're talking crazy nonsense, just tomfoolery. 200-year-old ship. You've been up there too much. Sun exposure, Last port, you guys stopped off, and there was more than one opium den. These cities are a little seedy where the pirates be gathering. Right, so you're probably just high on your own supply. But that's going to take us back to Ambrose.
Making my way grumpily up down the hall up to the stairs to go yell at the captain for, I guess, hitting that speed bump back there.
Yeah. No, the ship's still rocking pretty perilously back and forth. This was not at all what you were advised of, Like, you had him consult an almanac, right?
Mm-hmm.
You referred to the charts. You appraised your humors. I mean, you looked through a crystal at the sunlight. You did all the shit.
I did not pay for this. Captain! What is the meaning of this You are instructed to steer clear of all storms.
It came out of nowhere.
Well, get us out of here. My equipment is fragile and very valuable. If we do not arrive in Havana with my equipment intact, I'll take it out of your fee.
I mean, there's only I can't control. What am I, Poseidon? You,
What do you plan on doing then, having the ship torn asunder?
you. You're a woman.
You'd have to speak up, man. I'm 68 years old.
Do you hear a woman?
It could be a young child, I suppose, or a woman.
There aren't any children on the ship. Give me a notice roll.
Well, there bloody shouldn't be any women either.
Oh, fatigue, man, bumps and bruises. You hear something, but I mean, the wind's starting to pick up. It's starting to howl a little. It's indistinct. Any number of things. Could be the ringing that comes and goes from your ears from that time you were experimenting with the glycerides.
There are some good thiols that smell good. Whatever. I'll be in my cabin, away from this storm. But nothing can be broken.
I'm going to do everything that I can here, man. I mean, look, and if you appraise the horizon, all around the front of the ship, almost like it's enveloping it, like the storm is swallowing the ship, like you have sailed directly into its maw. Thick black clouds, lightning starting to crackle in the distance, rain starting to drop down, and now clearer than before, the sound of a woman crying.
I am torn internally, not just from me knocking around. I'm hesitant to, get myself in trouble or danger, and I don't like being out here at sea. But I am really curious as to why is there a woman crying.
Right. It appears to be coming off the, the front of the ship, off the bow there, and it is starboard. Yeah. About 2 o'clock.
As I approach the starboard, bow, I kind of grip the outer bit of my tunic that has the pocket and the vial, and look over and look out at the sea.
You will give me another notice roll at -1, in addition to that fatigue there. Oof. No, there is definitely something coming from the water, but what's weird now is that, at the volume level it's coming at, she should be in the water 150 feet in front of you. And, I mean, it's starting to kick up. You're getting 3-foot swells, right? But, I mean, you would still occasionally make out this bobbing, sobbing,
Siren.
But nothing. Nothing is apparent.
Perhaps imbalance of the humors is causing us to hear things that aren't there.
Yeah. You need more citrus.
See to this.
Somebody needs to leech somebody.
Well, I need to go back and get an instrument to examine the sea at distance. Perhaps there is something farther out. Maybe the wind's carrying the voice, and she's out farther, maybe 100 yards.
Down below deck with you again, then?
I should have a spyglass in my things.
Excellent. Captain Porter. There is a storm suddenly gathering around the ship in a manner that I will need a boating roll. That you have never seen before in all of your years at sea, through your beginning of your naval career, now through to your captaincy. You have never seen a crystal clear sky suddenly apparate dark black and gray clouds like this, and the wind starts to whip. Your sails furl and unfurl as it changes direction. It's almost as though you're fallowed, but like there's, I mean, the wind's just blowing from every which way, you know? It's starting to get to be madness, in fact. And I will need a notice roll. Up above the gathering wind, you see, or hear, excuse me, a woman softly weeping.
Okay. I will walk up to the front of the command deck area and shout out, "Trim the sails! Master Scroot! Master Scroot!"
I'm here. I'm awake.
Master Scroot, run below decks. Tell Cook to put the knives away. Prepare for storm. I've never seen anything like this. It's scaring me a bit.
I'm on it. And I just take off.
And I just keep shouting at people, "Batten the hatches!"
Excellent. The ship is locking down for storm mode. Scroot, give me a notice roll. You too hear what sounds like a young girl or woman crying.
What is that?
And this would be the first young girl or woman that you've had any experience with. And Jesus, is a cabin boy? I mean, it's not like they give you a ton of shore leave, you know?
This noise doing something to my body I've never experienced before.
I don't know if you know.
I really like it when girls cry. That's. And thank you for watching, everybody. It's been wonderful. Oh yeah.
Captain, what is that?
I'm not sure. I hear too, but I haven't seen anything. Up in the crow's nest, check for a woman. Does anyone else?
Let us take a look here. If anybody else hears that. Back from the crow's nest is all I hear is this damnable wind.
Well, keep your eyes open.
Scroot has the major hindrance of Curious, so he's going to investigate immediately.
Captain, Scroot has not gone below deck and seems to be lingering at the sidewell of the vessel, staring out in the general vicinity of the woman sounds.
I'm going to kind of grab him by his collar. Master Scroot, get yourself below decks. Tell Master Chef to put his knives away before he hurts himself. No?
Kind of takes a minute for me to take my gaze off of it, but eventually I realize I'm in trouble.
And in that moment, boy, the storm is upon you. It goes from a woman quietly weeping to a furtive wail as the winds blister and crack. The ship lifts to side and side, lightning cracks, the spray starts to kick up, and even to get below deck at this point is going to require an agility roll. Chef, you were not warned in time that the ship was going to all of a sudden get all kinds of lucky. And so I am going to need 2 agility rolls from you at a -1. 1 to secure the pot of boiling water, and 2 to keep your collection of knives from clattering onto the floor, which would upset you mightily. First up, potato roll. And with the agility, deftly, plop, he doesn't even look as he snatches the potato, and the knife slides off the countertop. He catches it with the tip of his toe and pops it right back up on where it was, like a little hacky sack.
I twirl it in my finger.
Twirls it in his finger to give you a little more juice there. Say it again, you twirl it in your what?
Yeah, twirl it in my finger and
Excellent.
slide it into its place.
Give me a notice roll, Chef. even down here, with all the clattering and the darkness and the banging and rocking back and forth, you hear this furtive wail on the wind, something that you've never heard before in your entire time at sea, 40 years as described thus far.
Is it coming from? Where's it coming from exactly? Like
above deck is what you can hear.
Above deck. Yeah, I put what I can away, and I reluctantly climb up outside the galley and make my way to the top, to above board. Sort of peek my head out. I try not to go out all the way.
Screw.
If I can see what's going on.
Give me another agility roll to avoid running directly into Chef, and you manage to stop just short. It is clear that he is displeased with you.
Screw, what the hell is going on up there? Do I need to go up there and steer the ship?
Yes. Something crazy is happening. Let's go. Come on.
I follow him out, reluctantly.
Wow. Yeah, Discord's not liking me tonight either. That is a rarity. But, just like that, the ship is lurched suddenly 5 feet out of the water and stove completely through. Water comes rushing in the side. Captain, your ship is taking on water.
Get the bosun! Bosun, repair this hill! Repair the holes! We're flooding!
Give me a notice roll at a +2.
Oh gosh, that escalated quickly.
Out of the corner of your eye, you're secure the hole when you see the tip of a 20-foot-long purple tentacle rise out of the water and slide back in under the surface.
What was that?
Probably 3 foot round. So big, in fact, that you could see the suckers were actually rings of clawed hooks.
Has Chef ever seen anything like this in all of his years?
Chef, give me a notice roll. You can give it to me at a +4, along with Stroop. Screw, even though it came in the wall directly behind you, kind of hard to miss the fact that a tentacle plowed through a 1.5 foot of solid timber, punching a 5 foot wide hole in the side of the ship. Chef, much easier for you to notice, because you could see the thing glisten in the lantern light as it retracted, and the water came pouring in. It is clear that I need a common knowledge roll from Chef.
Don't know shit.
Yeah, that's a mighty big tentacle. Sea has a lot of wonders. You can probably fix this hole.
Work up there. Fix it.
Screw. Give me a common knowledge roll at a -2. Sea's full of wonders. You can probably fix that hole.
Who's gonna run over to the hole and look out?
Running over to the hole will require a strength check as water is gushing in. It should be noticed that this ship has 3 below-deck decks, right? And this is the top deck, right below the surface, and water is rushing in now. Quite loaded for bear with your mercantile goods. You are low in the water. The hole is below the water line. You barely manage to push, and look out is it's a misnomer, right? It's under the water, water spurting in. It's above the water, under the water, water's gushing in, right? But in that moment, you can give me another notice roll. Add a -1, dim conditions outside in the storm. Still a 5. The tentacle that you saw was clearly just the tip. For as far as you can see, tentacle extends into the darkening sea.
Captain Porter will shout for the Marines to come up load.
Captain Porter will shout for the Marines too. For some reason, my volume's changed a little. Say some more words.
Yeah, just shouting for the Marines to come with them.
Yeah. You get a complement of Marines. Follow, you have 5 that are attending. The rest are below deck, currently attempting to, begin procedures to patch the hole. Most of your sailors are still working with the rigging.
I don't know what that was, but keep your eyes open. There's a giant something in the water.
Alright, give me a common knowledge roll at a +2. Excellent. Well, that is a whole fuck ton of raises. The fact that your ship was stowed in the top deck and is taking on water enough for you to already have like a 9-degree list means that you're probably going under.
All right, then in that case, instead of calling for the Marines, what I would do is shout to everybody to prepare to abandon.
Prepare to abandon ship. So people panic. This is, despite their experience as sailors, the abandoned ship order in the middle of a storm is not one that is often given. And I am going to need a test of your command, your resolve there to get these people in order. They're starting to run around and getting their heads cut off. One guy has a sea turtle under each arm. It's getting to be madness.
Okay. So what role are you looking for?
Well, now this could be a few things, right? This could be spirit, right? You could stand here resolute on the foredeck and give an inspiring speech, right? This could be smarts, right? This could be you using your logic to, this is the way we survive this situation, rationalizing it with the crew. It's up to you, really. Whatever you decide to act out. And depending on how well you act out will determine the bonus or minus, negative, plus or minus to either your spirit or smarts roll. So how are you going to inspire these guys?
Okay. Well, I see the guy carrying the sea turtles. I'm like, drop the turtles! Did you not see that thing? It must have been 100 feet long. It's as big as a ship. What are you doing? Drop the turtles. Get in the water. I don't care. This is not the way to survive. Staying on the ship is madness. And I see other people, and
Well,
I'm
I'm
just
not
like
going to
laying.
stay on the ship, Captain. We're going to need food.
You're gonna be dead if you stay on the ship. And I'd like to roll intimidate.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Intimidation, in fact. He's going stern with it.
Oh boy, can I use a Benny on that?
You can, in fact, spend a penny if we would like to. Re-intimidate.
Before he spends that Benny, Chef sees it's imminent that this ship is going down.
Yeah.
And I try to do the same.
You know the captain well enough that he definitely would not tell people to abandon ship if there wasn't a reason. Yeah.
Yeah. And I say, I am the chef. I'm worried about the food. And you know how much I like food, but I'm leaving this ship. I say we trust Captain and get out of here as soon as possible.
Why don't you give me a persuasion roll? Excellent. +2 to your intimidate roll on this Benny. Or we could just, since it can count, now let's re-roll it. Yeah. Keep to the rules there. Uh-oh, 7 Porter lost connection and is frozen. Man, tonight's the night, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tonight's the night. You know what? It is a little early for our mid-show break, but given the connection issues we are exhibiting right now, we are going to take our mid-show break. So, if you like what you've seen so far, please stick around. We are going to have a brief technical difficulties of 5 to 10, and we will be back. And hopefully I'll get to drown one of these guys. So, stick around. And we are back. Thank you for sticking with us through our ad break. Boy, you don't have to watch that ad break, you know, if you hit that follow button. Ooh. Oh no, the subscribe button. That's right. And did you know that you can subscribe for free with Amazon Prime? You got Amazon Prime? What? Just toss it up on that sub button. Go subscribe. Click. I get like $2.50, right? The show gets better. The channel expands. You get to contribute. You get access to emotes. You get a special Discord role if you join the Discord. Wow. I mean, oh snap! Look at that new sub, Joey Pats is what we decided there. It's kind of a big. It's a portmanteau, which we've decided on, but pretty dramatically, if you'll recall, the ship is starting to go under, and I am going to. Oh yeah, people still panicking. Need that intimidation roll from Jonas Porter after he spends the Benny, recalling that he gets a +2 from the persuasion of the giant Asian chef.
And also I get another +2 from my Elan. Is that correct?
And another +2 from your what?
Elan?
Ooh, potentially. Let me see. Does it do it automatically? It does not do it automatically. But when you spend a Benny to re-roll a trait, you get a +2 to the total.
Cool.
Oh, but this is a skill. But it's a trait skill. You know, I'm actually not sure on that. If it's a trait as though it's just an attribute, or if it's, we're going to re-roll it as a skill. I don't give a damn.
Well,
Let's do it. Elon.
I did not
Wait,
mean
no,
to.
wait.
I think it's that first roll.
Well, and it's fine at any rate because it's you know, oh, but it's a trait roll on an intimidation. I'm not sure if that's just persuasion or intimidation. I think it's intimidation as well. But it was that first roll. There was no trait roll of a natural one. So yeah, he drops the sea turtles and gets 2. Chef, the deck below you is rapidly filling with water. Also, happens to be where your cooking utensils, the kitchen, the foodstuffs are. There is a bunch of food cargo, as in fruits, vegetables, some cured meats, right? But what you should predominantly be interested in are the provisions, right? These are different than food, which is a commodity that is traded and can still be eaten. These, one provision equals the food. It takes one sailor, food and water, to survive for 24 hours without having to roll a fatigue roll.
I try to scoop up what I can.
So, that's going to be a bit difficult because, again, water is rushing into the ship, and it is already chest deep on the deck below you. You will have to push against it, probably with the assistance of a little Scroot, all the little tiny hands you can get, right? So why don't you both give me athletics rolls, or excuse me, agility rolls? No, athletics, yeah. Excellent. Chef, you mightily push through against the torrent. Scroot, the water it's rising too fast. You get down there, and you're going to have to give me a spirit roll, because, boy, you're getting a little panicky. Yeah, no, hands against the ceiling. Chef, you turn around. It is obvious that Scroot does not want to proceed further into the rapidly filling below deck section with you.
Of course. Get out of here, kid. And I go further. Try to grab the stuff.
Oh, you're gonna let him just take off?
I just don't, you know. I already think he's kind of lazy.
Right. Scroot. Chef has given you permission to GTFO.
I'm out.
You're out? It should be noted that as the cabin boy, you sleep in a cot in the bilge. So all your shit is well underwater. You have what you have on your person. currently, which is your inventory as it stands, and would have to do some diving already to get down if there was any bric-a-brac, knickknacks, heirlooms, maybe a wooden pony that somebody carved for you that was then swept away to sea, you know. But you're out.
I think I'm mostly clear up right now.
Yep. The ship is starting to list at a 25-degree angle, getting rather severe. Captain Porter, I imagine you are at the will, as is customary.
Indeed, and if it's within reach, I'm ringing the like emergency bell.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. It is clear that things are becoming quite problematic for you and your crew. They're under deck. You're up here. This is what it sounds like up here. You see Screw scramble up above deck, soaking wet and terrified looking.
I'll shout to him, Master Screw, make sure there are people aboard the lifeboat.
That seems above my pay grade, Captain. But sure.
Everything is above my pay grade at this point.
There are 4 dinghies on the ship, each one of which will accommodate 8 souls. There is some mathematics to be done here. 24 crew members, sailors, 15 Marines, a cabin boy, a cook, and a captain.
Does Chef take 2 spots?
Chef takes 2 spots for sure. Yeah. But
The captain is intending to go down with the ship.
well, of course, yeah. I mean, that went without saying, right? Yeah. But you are going to have to pick who's going down on the ship with you. Well, you'll have a moment to do that because Brian O'Brien, boy, it also sounds like this up in the crow's nest now. The storm that you saw gathering has swept in with a hellish fury, but you have pulled within combat range of what is now clearly a notice roll of +2. And we'll add the +2 in our heads to that at 5, which is a success. This is clearly a Renaissance era ship. It's like gilt, flying an antiquated flag. But I'm gonna need a voting roll at a -2.
Betting?
Voting. If I was a betting man, I'd say you fucked.
Yeah. You're right about that. Yeah.
You're able to get the ship pulled along but not cross the T with your verbal instruction and your captain's piloting skills through the storm, which means that 2 firing rolls are going to be able to be made from your starboard cannons on the stern of the Renaissance era ship. And that will sound, oh no, where am I? Something like this. Ambrose Avon, you were down below gathering your instruments, and the wall of the ship explodes inward. Your files and ambulics shatter and immediately catch fire, which isn't that much of a concern because water also comes pouring in through the side of the ship.
Some of that does burn with water, but
Yes, it does. Why don't you give me an agility roll?
it's gonna be a fantastic D4. Here we go, boys and girls. Oh yeah.
My God. Despite the fact that you are 68 years old and fatigued from a previous injury, when the cannonball comes flying through your bedroom window, you manage to leap out of the way of the resultant fireball, and are not partially incinerated by the. I mean, you just aced your agility roll to avoid your medium burst template. So, congratulations! No narrative hook for you, buddy. You're already screwing that up for me. I was like, oh, his agility doesn't work great. Fucking Savage Worlds.
Agility,
Exploding
strength,
dice.
and vigor. You
Yeah,
could have
right.
picked any of my D4s.
But, I am going to need a notice roll. And a -2. I should say that with it there. That doesn't matter either. There was a distinct, cracking sound from your pocket when you leapt out of the way of the fireball.
It's just the blood drains from my face. I reach in gingerly and like sort of shaking my hand, pulls it out to examine to see if the vial is intact.
Just
or
a
if it is...
broken silver glass in a damp pocket.
I kind of just look out the hole that the cannonball made. 50 years. 50 years. This entire voyage, a fortune that I'd saved. 50 years.
The water is now above your knees, rushing up to mid-thigh.
How big's the hole?
I mean, it's stove, like a 2.5-foot diameter hole in the side of the ship. Using 200 years advanced firearm technology,
Well, I grab my satchel and I slosh towards my cabin door. If I can push it open, it probably like the water put.
It is a
Oh.
strength roll at a -2. Yeah, oh no. Yeah, that is not. The door is lodged solid. And you have time to say, like, oh hell. And, the water goes above your head.
Oh hell.
You are currently underwater. The door is jammed. You are 68 years old. And you are going to need to swim against the current to surface in the storm outside.
I'm gonna make my way through the water, through the hole of the little ship.
Swimming roll at a -2.
Well, that's gonna be a -3, and I'm gonna die in here.
Gonna kill you immediately, Ambrose Avon.
I'm going to die in here.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah. You struggle against the incoming torrent of water, but you are unable to progress outside. Brian O'Brien, I am going to need an agility roll at a -3.
Is that a crit fail?
Well, no, because a crit fail would be a natural one. That's just a normal failure. And you can add the modifier in the corner. You see that little circle in the bottom left-hand side of the screen? There's some seaweed. It's like a little blue circle. If you mouse wheel up and down there, when I say +2, -2, you can do that and then roll the dice, and it'll be whatever modifier you set that to. So there's no head math required.
Okay. Alright, I'm mouse with. Oh, there we go.
Excellent. But that is a failure, which is unfortunate because the mast has snapped that you were in the crow's nest of from an incredible gust of wind, unlike any that you have ever experienced thus far. And you hear the wailing of the wind as you slow motion fall backwards into the roiling water. What are your thoughts in this moment?
It's been a wonderful run.
It has been a wonderful run. And he goes sploosh. He goes, My sploosh sounds aren't working.
Sploosh!
I say, good sir, sploosh. Sploosh into the water, and immediately you are being pulled down by the mast, and you are going to need to give me a swimming roll at a -2.
I didn't even add a swimming roll, a swimming skill.
Ooh.
Oh boy, so that is an unskilled roll at a -2.
Oh, I'm dead. Wow.
Hey, look at that! You are dragged 15 feet below the surface, it becoming ever dimmer in the already dim light. If you fail another swimming roll, you will be disoriented enough that you will have to devise some means to determine which way the surface is. Let's get another unskilled roll at a -2. Great googly moogly, congratulations. You managed to maintain where you are, 15 feet below the surface, and not get pulled any further. But you can feel the breath starting to grow hot and heavy in your lungs. You, although having been on a boat for several years, do not care for water where you cannot touch the bottom, which is why you spent most of your time in a crow's nest. And this is definitely water in which you cannot touch the bottom. Let's see here. We are going to go back to Chef.
Yes.
You are now towards the back of your ship, but to go any further, you will have to hold your breath to get to the provisions. It won't be swimming, mind you, at this point, but the list of the ship now has the kitchen underwater. You can walk and feel your way through. It's pitch black here, all the lanterns, of course, having been put out. It will be an athletics roll at a -2. Hey, you are a burly I mean, that D6, man. 16 on a D6, just like, fuck you. Yeah, no problem. You push through to the provisions. Yeah. Give me a D10. Unfortunately, this part of the cabin is very dark and very flooded, and you only managed to find 2 provisions.
Grabs what he can. Starts
Next,
making his way out.
2 provisions, and at this point, it will be a swimming roll back at a -2.
He never learned how to swim in all those years.
That is not so great. You may, in fact, be disoriented. Give me a notice roll. -2. Dark conditions. That's fine. We'll do the head map. That's fine. No, you managed to orient yourself. It's just the exhaustion at this point. You're a strong guy, but you a big guy, and you already pushing through here. Captain Porter, the back half of your ship is, the front half of your ship is definitely starting, the front deck is starting to go into the water. Give me a notice roll, +4. That is in no small part due to the end of a tentacle. This one, unlike the previous long cylindrical tentacles, it's very narrow and flares out in a giant fan, and the fan is draped over your bowsprit. It seems to be pushing down on the front of the boat.
That's terrifying.
Fan's probably 8 feet long, 5 feet in diameter. Its widest point.
Okay. Yeah, we're definitely getting off this boat.
Have we made some decisions?
Yeah, so according to naval tradition, we would be sure to abandon ship starting from the lowest ranking member of the ship and then on our way up to the highest ranking. So myself, I would be the last to board the lifeboats if there was any space left. So I would want to ensure that Scroot gets.
So it would be you and a contingent of Marines remaining on the vessel then.
Yeah, sounds right.
I believe 8 would still be with you. My head math was correct.
And as they are staying with me, I'm just gonna tell them to just take pot shots at this thing whenever.
Unfortunately, you're in the middle of a storm, so all the
Yeah,
powder is just saturated. But a couple of them, they give it a go. You know, a shot goes off every here, and then it's mostly smoke or nothing, right? The drummer gets out, the bannerman gets out, and he hoists the old British flag there, the Union Jack, and the drummer, starts playing in time as the, it's kind of a discordant scene, in fact, as these guys line up and the ship lists ever further. It's clear they are going down. Chef, Scroot, you are each on an individual lifeboat and will be making the boating rolls to cast off. These boating rolls are happening in rough seas and, in terrible conditions, so they will be happening at a -2. If the captain would like to assist, he could do so from his station.
That's not voting.
Yeah, I'll help by shouting out.
Captain, I can't get this loose. I need you to help me push it off.
So can I make a boating roll to assist?
Yes. Yeah. No, it's going. You can. Describe what are you doing here?
Okay, so at this point, piloting the ship is useless. I'm not even gonna mess with that.
Yeah,
anymore.
I mean the
So
sails. You drop the sails. Yeah, taking on water.
Yeah, I'm just gonna rush over to the lifeboats and help ensure that everybody's getting on. As it starts to kind of swing out, I'll lean out over the railing and grab the ship and pull it back up so everybody can make sure to get their footing on the.
Captain, give me an agility roll. You have spent many years at sea, so it will not happen with a negative despite the conditions. Ooh, and thankful for that. Yeah, for a moment you lean out and it seems like you'll lose your footing on the slick deck, but you manage to pull it back in, and that will negate the -2 boating penalty for both Chef and Scroot as they attempt to cast off.
Wow.
Scroot, Jesus, you're like, I can't wait to be a pirate! Like, he has a cutlass in his mouth already, and he uses it to saw through the rope. I mean, he is about it. He is just ready. DTF, Scroot. DTF. Chef as well. He's got his 2 provisions, which is not great. There are 16 men on your boats currently. Yes. And there are 2 more boats.
Jeff has 0 provisions as far as I know.
Oh, yeah? Chef, how are you hiding your 2 provisions, given the fact that it's a day's ration of both food and water?
Oh, I mean, he's a portly guy. He's kind of just stuffed it in, into his shirt.
Just right under where he holds his cleaver and glare?
They each weigh 1 pound, so I guess pretty easily.
Yeah, no doubt. Just one under each titty. Just good to go.
He just lifts it up and he's flying.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, why don't you give me a stealth roll at a +2? Nobody's paying attention. It is a crazy scene. People are just thankful to be alive. You are fortunate for that +2 there. And you managed to stash your 2 days of rations as your boat, I don't want to say sails, rides up the now 10-foot swell, dips down, rides up again, and pretty quickly loses sight of the actual ship, which is now just barely above the water. Moving on from there, Ambrose Avon.
Oh, cool. Well,
You are a little panicked.
yep.
This
16
ain't how,
years old,
this
young.
ain't how Ambrose is gonna go out.
Hopefully not. And let's try and get over to that hole in the side of the ship and get out of here.
Swim and roll at a -2. You know what? No. The pressure has equalized just a swimming roll.
Fuck you, I made it.
Oh, yeah. Well, excuse me. I had a -7. No. Did I say -2? No. You burst out of the hole in the side of the ship and find yourself just 5 feet below the surface. And it will be just a simple swimming roll at this point to get yourself a safe enough distance away from the ship to not be pulled under.
No, I'm gonna use a Benny.
Excellent.
I'm gonna use a Benny.
My God.
I'm gonna die.
That is the most bennies I have ever seen anyone spend on a failure, ladies and gentlemen. You saw it here first. 50 Fathoms, episode 1 Tuesday.
No adventure card.
That was a 4 Benny fail right there.
My adventure card will not help me.
The ship itself is going under, and you go from 5 feet below the surface to 15 feet below the surface. If you fail another swimming roll, you will get far enough away from the surface that you will become disoriented and need to determine another way to even determine which direction is up.
Alright. I died.
Oh, Lord of mercy. So that is a critical failure. A rope from the rigging wraps itself around your frail skeletal old man leg and pulls you down into the
Load up my
inky
other
darkness.
character.
If you had to guesstimate, you would say that you were probably 30 feet under the water at this point.
Well, since I'm almost 70 years old, I'm dead.
I am going to need a vigor roll from you.
I failed.
You are, in fact, drowning Ambrose Avon and have a 2nd level of fatigue. Brian O'Brien.
Can we resolve this real quick?
No, that's how this. It's a series of cliffhangers, man. That's how you jump it around. You got to keep everybody invested. Everybody's fucked right now. Even the guys like, I got 2 provisions on a boat. Yeah, no, that's not how this works. There's a giant tentacle monster. There's storms. There's ripped currents. There, come on, Poppy came prepared. He's ready to fuck. But all right, Brian O'Brien, gonna need another swimming roll.
Gladly.
Wow.
Dang, bro.
Shit.
Just throw some dice at him.
That's a
Brian
wow.
O'Brien, you come bursting out of the surface of the water like a porpoise at SeaWorld. Just, your full body cresting the 10-foot wave. I mean, like, you rolled a 24 on an unskilled, man. I don't know what, like, the part of the mast attained equal buoyancy and hit you under the foot and tossed you up. I mean, man, a 24 on an unskilled swimming roll. Literally, you found one of those, like, hydro jet packs that people use with the tube in the water, and just rocketed out. No, that's ludicrous. That is ludicrous on an unskilled. Yeah, I know your head crests the surface. You get a big breath of water, and you cannot see your ship.
Do I see anything?
Yeah, 20-foot swells in every direction and a notice roll at a -2.
Count that in. And here we go.
You see, well, now it's the damnedest thing, right? Because, your head's in and out of the water, right? You can't swim for shit. I mean, you're getting pushed under a wave. You come out the other side. But every time you come up on the distance, standing on the fucking water appears to be an ethereal young girl. Slightly translucent, luminous in the dark skies, brighter than the lightning crashes behind her. In fact,
How far call to her. Help! Help! I try to, stay above water, but also make my way towards the apparition.
You have no swimming directional control at this point. She, the figure, which is, by the way, the first time you've ever seen any spooky nonsense like this in your life, right? Does not. She steers just staring off into the distance at the same point. Another thing that you notice with your notice roll of a 7, not quite a raise, but close, right, is the sail of that other ship. Floating in the water next to you. It's kind of there 1 second, gone under the waves the next, bobbing up again again. Your ship is nowhere to be found. But that's a chunk of the other ship.
I'm a little shocked and disoriented and stunned, but I'm desperate. I probably think I'm hallucinating, so I try to make my way toward this half-submerged ship, half-merged ship. So.
It is not a ship per se, but there is a bunch of detritus and debris, right? With a swimming roll at a -2, right? You could attempt to doggy paddle your very sad self through the 20-foot swells to a piece of debris. Now, and I am afraid as hard as you swim, you get no closer to any of it.
That's like virtually impossible, but it's like it's negative the number of points on the dice.
Yes, it is. Well, now, so all dice explode in Savage Worlds, as you've seen. So you could ace that die on a 25% chance, right? And so 25% of the time, it works every time.
Right.
Right, is what that means. But, no, and that's a reflection of 20-foot swells, absolutely no swimming skill, difficulty, there's modifiers applied to it. It's all kinds of fucky. But,
Gotcha.
We're going to leave you there. And we are going to go back to Captain Porter. So, is standing now shin deep in water with his still firm Marines. I don't know why there are lady screams in this soundtrack, but there are. Deal with it.
Sometimes you just gotta scream like a wolf.
That's Scroot. I mean, you can hear him out in the distance, just ah!
Screw.
Eventually, one of these days, he's gonna start growing hair in funny places and thinking thoughts about ladies. But today's not that day. Captain Porter, you're going down with your ship.
Yes, indeed. I'll try to be as stoic as possible while still being realistically sad about dying.
As stoic as possible in these circumstances. Well, I don't know. That would be a spirit roll, sir. And I will take into account the fact that you have your commanding presence to, well, not officially, but, as a captain, to not put any modifiers on that. Don't critically fail. It would suck to cry in front of your men. No. You definitely maintain the, dignity of it. Your bannerman keeps the Union Jack hoisted above the water until the very last possible second. And you all find yourself now swimming. And by swimming, I mean your ship is going under and therefore pulling you under. And it will be a swimming roll at a -2 in an attempt to swim yourself free from the effect of this.
Sometimes I wish I'd gone swimming. Yep.
Yeah, we can talk about swimming, climbing, and throwing later as well. I know, so we use the Suede rulebook here, right? And it has since graduated from those skills. It groups them all under athletics, where 50 Fathoms still use the Explorer edition, right? So there's a different spot. You have to find those skills. At the end of this session, we'll talk about divvying up athletics into something that makes a little sense. and I wouldn't do it, but swimming and climbing are very important and distinct in the universe, right? As opposed to just generally everybody swims as well as they climbs, right? So it does make sense to have them be bracketed out, but we'll take care of that after. But that swimming roll was just terrible.
Yeah, you know what? And I think in my grim determination to just face death, I'm not even gonna Benny that. I think
Not even gonna Benny it. I mean, this is what you deserve for your failure as a captain. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, fantastic.
If it was better, we wouldn't have done this.
Your Marines are less inclined to agree with you, but are also going to fail their swimming rolls and get pulled under, and not being wild cards, not a one of them is going to get an opportunity to resurface. You, however, are allowed to give me another swimming roll, now 15 feet under the surface, bearing in mind that the failure of another swimming roll will make you disorientated enough that you will have to determine another way to even determine which way is up.
Still at a -2?
Yep. Ship's still pulling you down. You're right on top of her. Oh, and that's just a yikes in every which way. That's not great there. I mean, it could have been worse. It could have critically failed. But that is a 0 with a trait roll of 1. So I am afraid that you and you had to guesstimate probably 30 feet below the water. And we'll have to describe to me when we come back to you which way you are using to determine which way is up, because visually it ain't happening anymore. In a very similar circumstance to Ambrose Avon. Ambrose Avon, your lungs are exploding at this point. Your breath like hot daggers in your chest. How are you going to attempt to determine which way is even up the swim?
Well, it's 30 feet below water. I'm 68 years old. And was it day or night when the storm hit? Probably doesn't matter because it's a storm, so it's all real dark.
Yeah. It won't be
I'm
a
gonna-
notice roll, is what I'm saying. Not unless something is described to me. But you know what? Give me a notice roll. While we're talking about him. Damn it, fatigued or not. You have had problems with your hips for years, since time immemorial, right? Going on 30 years, right? And despite the fire in your lungs and the panic of this situation, for the first time in 30 years, your hip don't hurt.
That's odd.
Odd. Do you say that?
Yeah, I do a little bit of like an all. And like, do I, whichever way the bubbles go, that's
Oh,
right?
yeah. Give me a notice roll with a +1, considering you have described using the oxygen bath to find the surface there. Oh, wunderbar, wunderbar. Perfect. The bubbles go up, and it'll be a straight swimming roll.
Well, I'm still gonna die.
You are still gonna die. You managed to gain nothing. Your hip might not hurt, but your old man arms aren't very good at moving water, and you will take another point of
Well, I'm
fatigue.
incapacitated,
Yes, you are.
so I just go unconscious 30 feet underwater.
Yes, you are. That's kind of the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't it? Yeah, that is the point. Brian O'Brien.
Injury table. Boom. And
That's no. No, we're not. We don't. So first of all, it's against the rules to just decide we're gonna roll dice without being
Well, it said
instructed
roll
to.
on the injury table
No
right there.
combat tracker, no GM
Injury
instruction,
goes away when all
right?
wounds are healed.
So, like, it's obvious at this point that this is like that boss fight in the RPG you're not meant to win, right? But now I have to call it out because, I mean, your nipples are getting a little abraded against your shirt, and we don't let salt waters getting in the nooks and crannies. So we're
Well,
just
the
gonna...
thing says roll on the injury table,
Yes,
so
but
I do.
I did not, and I am Pirate God.
Drew's
That's
already
it,
working
Pirate
on.
God. I know
Drew's
he's already
already
got
working
another
on a
character.
new
He's
character,
like,
yeah.
fuck Ambrose Avon. I know we've already discussed the plot hooks, but I'm gonna
Right
get
there.
indignant.
Alexander.
Alexander Graves emerges from the water. All right. Brian. Oh, Brian. You know what? A piece of debris manages to just by pure happenstance float by you, and it will be a simple athletics check to latch onto the thing. Hey, yeah, with a desperation, out of just sheer desperation. Right, you find that, and you will get +2 to all swing rolls from the debris that you are currently riding on. What you won't get a +2 is this notice roll.
So -2?
Nope, just a straight up notice.
Okay.
Hey, look at that. Down in the water, probably, 10 feet below you, a wave crests, right? You make out a clutch of red fabric and dark hair.
So I look in the water, and through it I can see something?
Yeah.
Or someone?
Yeah. On a 7, you can't quite make it out. Red and black. Human-sized. Dark water,
About how far down?
About 10 feet down. It seems to be slowly surfacing, but the waves are whipping up. It almost makes it to the top. It gets pulled back down, but it does seem to be slowly rising. Whatever it is more buoyant than water.
Right. He's not the most altruistic of individuals.
Right. Oh, wait, this is alright. I still have him drowning. That's fun. Now you're in this. Ambrose already done drown.
But he is, fueled by self-preservation, and I don't think that he can survive that is, possibly. Or, so I think it's not would be unreason that Brian O'Brien would maybe try and rescue this figure.
Yeah. That definitely makes sense. How are you going to go about trying to rescue this figure, who is now 5 feet under the water, but about 10 feet away? It's a young guy in his 40s, wearing like a monk's robe. He looks like he just got back from the Ren Fair,
Right. And there's no rope or cordage near the buoy that I'm on.
There's no
Is
what?
there cordage?
No. Well, let's see here. Why don't you give me a survival?
I don't have a survival skill, so unskilled. Yes.
Yeah, no, there is fuck all around you that can assist you. No, just an anvil.
Just yeah.
Yeah. Just the ship's anvil.
All right. Well, I guess leaving the buoy, I go down and try and.
Well, now if you leave a bit of wood you're floating on, you lose your +2 to your swimming. You could, it seems, maybe doggy paddle over to him and wait for it to bob to the surface and then snatch it, but
right. Okay.
I'm not trying to tell you how to rescue somebody. If you want to just say, fuck it, I'm coming, brah, and dive unskilled into the, then we get back to that. You're 30 feet under the water and need to tell me how you're going to find the surface game again.
Yeah, okay, then I doggy paddle over to where I think he'll bob up next, or bob close, or...
All right, that'll be a straight swimming roll, so an unskilled at a +2.
No whammies.
No whammies indeed, yeah. You handily swim over to where he is bobbing, and it is a middle-aged dude with a righteous mustache, wearing a red outfit, and anachronistic facial hair. But he is not conscious. And we are going back to Chef. Chef Bro, you are getting further away from the dinghy that has Scroot on it. It is hard to get the two boats. There is a length of rope on the boat that one could affix between the two boats to tie them off and keep them together in the gale. But, boy, that would require a boating roll at a +2 to even close the, or at a -2 to even close the distance at this point. Scroot, if you would like to also try and close the distance, boating roll at a -2. Woof.
Not you.
And woof. No, it looks like you guys are going to drift further apart, now getting on 40 feet apart, far enough now that when a wave separates you, you entirely lose sight of one another, and no sight of the other two boats with the sailors on it. Scrooge's just gonna wave.
No, Scroot's losing his freaking mind right now.
Yeah. Just how is Scrooge losing his mind?
He's like watching people drown. He's probably crapped his pants once or twice so far.
He has probably crapped his pants once or twice so far. Well, hopefully while he was swimming.
Glad I'm not on that boat.
Alright. We don't roll unsolicited dice.
I was just a joke notice to see if I noticed that Scroot had crapped his
Not
pants.
from here. But, Scroot, give me a notice roll. What you do notice is floating in the water, a body.
How close is it to my ship or to my raft dinghy?
It bumps up against the side of it, the side you are closest to.
Okay. Do I recognize like a uniform or like?
No, it appears to be wearing a loincloth.
Heyo.
Another thing that is interesting about this body is that it must have been at sea for a while, because it is all scaly and distended. Most of the hair appears to have melted off of it.
Yeah, that's not cool.
You gonna flip the thing over with an oar?
Yeah, sure. I'll kind of prod at it, see if I can get the bob to its other side.
Yeah, give me a spirit roll. When you flip the thing over, the first thing you notice is that the eyes are large and solid and black, although slightly milked over at this stage. The mouth is decidedly fish-like with a jaw that unhinges and filled with 2 rows of needle-like teeth. The hand that flops over out of the water is webbed in between the fingertips, and each finger ends in a long, brutal, inch-and-a-half black claw.
I mean,
This is cray-cray, but you passed your spirit roll, so no fear table. You know, you good, you cool.
Yeah, I think as it flips over, he's just gonna push it away.
Yeah, no, it gently goes under the surface. In addition to the body now, it is clear that there is a ton of flotsam and wreckage that did not come from your vessel. You haven't lost sight of the vessel here.
Anything that looks like it could be cargo or useful?
That is an excellent question. Why don't you give me a notice roll at a -2?
Oh, sorry.
Holy cow, well that's fine, because we can just do an 11 there. Yeah, you find a bundle of 5 provisions, but will need to make a boating roll at the aforementioned -2 to maneuver close enough to them to procure them.
Sure.
And no,
I
that
see some
is,
provisions over there.
yeah, that is a -1. You go, isn't that food? As the boat goes over a wave, comes over the wave, and there's no food there anymore. No idea. no idea. You are going to need to make a boating roll at a -4, Chef, to avoid the tentacle that comes whipping out of the water, headed right for the midline of your digging. The men around you scream. And yeah, I mean, you Tokyo drift that motherfucker. I'm not even sure how that happens. You put all your weight to one side, pull the keel, and the end whips around and flashes out a spray over the top of the wave as you deftly dodge a tentacle that crests 20 feet above the wave and comes whipping down with a slap on the water where your boat just was. I'm gonna need a spirit roll.
Yeah, I might not be able to swim, but I can steer a boat.
No, that was too fast, too furious. And you're like, oh yeah, calamari. I mean, come on, spirit roll of 7. What am I gonna do with that? You know, nonplussed. I mean, it's bad, but you know, 40 years on the ocean,
Seen a lot of shit.
right? Excellent. And Captain Porter.
Okay, so I think somewhere around 30 feet underwater, Captain Porter starts to kind of realize, like, I've done my duty. I think I'm good.
Yeah, the ship is. You've gone down.
So, yeah. So what I'd like to do, can I make a notice roll to see if I can still see the ship below me? I'm assuming it fell faster.
Yes, it's falling faster than you, and it is dark water, but just at a -1. Still pretty easy to detect given its effect on the, downstream air bubbles coming out of it and all of that. And that's
Okay,
a yikes.
I'm gonna spend a penny on that.
Excellent, there we go. Yeah, clearly below you, thusly being able to orient up. And far enough away from it now, given its increased descent, that despite the, water cavativity and all of that, just a straight swimming roll.
Okay, cool.
To try and gain 15 feet.
Not great, but I will spend my last penny on
Hey! Pennies all the time, pennies all the time, pennies all the time.
Hey.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, that is a raise, in fact, and instead of 15. More raise it, Jesus. Congratulations. You surface. Yay!
Awesome.
And find yourself on the surface in the mother of all storms, giving me a notice roll. About 50 feet away from you, to the right-ish generally, is one of your dinghies. About 100 feet to the left of you is an ethereal woman, standing on the surface of the water, unmoving.
She's standing on it?
Yes, standing, Jesus Christ stuff.
That's weird. I will tear my gaze away from the woman and try my best to flail around in the water to the dinghy.
What would I want here? We an opposed roll. Because, I mean, Scroot has to notice you. But my question is, what skill would you be utilizing here to get them to notice you? Perhaps vigor, due to the strength of your, I don't know, spirit, smarts maybe? Maybe you have some antic.
You know what? No, hang on. I have a whistle.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah. Scroot, give me a notice roll at a +2. You hear a whistling that is clearly not, that's a captain's whistle.
Noise?
You've heard that shit before. Yeah, definitely. Captain's whistle. 50 feet to starboard.
I can't
Excuse me,
see him,
port.
but the captain's whistle came from that direction. Help me get this boat turned around.
And at that, the fellows in the boat to you will put their backs into it and heave to, which will give you a +2 on your boating roll to close the distance with the captain.
Come on. Ah.
Even with that, I am afraid that, man, the currents and the wind is whipping around. You're rowing with your little noodle arms, you know. One day I will kiss a girl, you know, and you just cannot beat Mother Nature, I'm afraid. But it wasn't, it wasn't terrible. It didn't critically fail. Unlike what I'm assuming this next boating roll coming from Chef will be, tentacle lashing through the air again. Straight, you're prepared for it. This thing is clearly trying to incap you. Wow, and this one actually whips one of the Marines on the ship with you off the boat. Well, no, you'd still be sailors on your ship. Marines were on the other ships. We were working our way up. But, so one of the sailors on the vessel with you gets ripped off the boat into the water, and now the men start panicking. And,
should be able to maneuver better.
Are going to be absolutely useless without some better encouragement. Then y'all should be able to maneuver better. Fuck Greg, he was a bitch anyway. Like that's
more
not,
room.
One of the guys is like Gregory,
Yeah.
You're like, fuck Greg.
Yeah.
He said there was too much salt in the food, right? Yeah. No, so you're not even going to attempt to, console or intimidate or cajole or persuade these guys to not be more effective in the face of the
You
tentacle
can worry
monster
about
that's trying to kill
Gregory.
you.
You can worry about Gregory and die, or you can help me steer this dinghy out of harm's way. Take your pick.
Intimidation roll. Nah, they ain't helping shit. In fact, as the tentacle leaps out of the water again, two of them leap overboard, certain that it is going to slam down on the vessel, and both get taken down when it changes its target to them, leaving you with 4 Marines. Give me a notice roll. The other dinghy has drifted inadvertently closer to you, and now is only 30 feet off.
Hey.
Can I attempt to tie it off again?
Not currently. No, you gotta be within 20 feet, and then it's gonna be a throwing roll. It's gonna be nonsense. But, Captain Porter, why don't you give me a notice roll?
Okay.
You see both of the dinghies, the one with Chef and the one with Scroot on them, and can attempt to make a swimming roll towards them once again, bearing in mind that you can also see the giant-ass tentacle menacing the dinghy with Chef in it.
Okay. How far away are these dinghies from me?
20 feet and 30 feet at this point.
Okay. So, my command radius is 5 inches, which should be about 25 feet.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Given the placement, it is Chef's boat that is within your command radius.
okay. Here's what I want to do. I want to blow my whistle and shout out, "Hard to starboard!"
All right.
And basically give a +2 to the boating rolls of the people.
Excellent, excellent. All right, let's get the persuasion at hard to starboard. I don't know, I guess it could still technically be intimidation because you're the commander or whatever and you're blowing that damn whistle. Pick your
They're
poison.
scared of it.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's a real threatening whistle sound.
I mean, for you especially, man. Where do you think you got half those bruises? Yeah, you managed to pull it off. +2 on the boating roll. Chef, you hear Captain Porter's whistle. You hear him to say, hard to port. And he wants you to pull off to the left to close with him and get him on the boat in lieu of the, the Kraken or whatever.
Yeah, I do it.
Excellent. Look at that. You managed to close the distance somehow, and it will be just a simple athletics roll from the captain to pull himself into the boat along one of the oars.
I try to help him too.
Oh, yeah, give me an athletics roll. Well, give me an agility roll. No, you know what? Give me a strength roll. He's giving me an athletics roll. There we go. That will make you balance.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, again, like Flipper, he
no.
leaps out of the water and
Oh, that was weird.
pops up there. Yeah, sometimes it hitches. Well, we will take the last roll there. Well, no, it'd be a +2 from his strength roll anyway, so the first roll, even that does it. Yeah, you are pulled onto the boat. Unfortunately, this distraction causes the Marines to be focused on you instead of the tentacle swipe that they should have been focused on. And every other non-named character from this boat is pulled into the water screaming, "Oh my god!"
Yeoman Johnson.
It's okay, I still got all mine, Captain. I won't lose all these sailors on my boat.
Master Chef, you've saved my life, thank you.
Don't mention it, Captain, but let's see if we can save the other guys.
Of course.
Am I
So-
still not within range?
No, you actually had to pull further away from the other dinghy. You added 10 feet of distance to, I really should have a diagram drawn out for this. But I didn't, I thought this would be a little snappier, honestly. It's been a really extended storm. But, yeah, fantastic. You guys, are together on a boat. Skirt is on a boat. And he is going to have to give me a -2 notice roll. No, just a straight notice roll. What am I talking about? I'm a kind of benevolent god.
Pirate. God pirate.
You're
Pirate
not
god.
the, the best sailor, right? You're not the most talented seaman on the poop deck, right? But, this dinghy's taking on water.
Let me do an internal morality check real quick. Yeah. How far is the other dinghy from me now?
30 feet. Need to get within 20, and then somebody needs to succeed on a throwing roll to get the boat across there. So,
Yeah. I guess I'm gonna take the pot off of my head and start bailing water out.
yeah, bailing water out. Give me a boating roll at a -2. Yeah, every pot that comes out seems to be replaced by a pot and a half or two.
The other sailors on the boat, are they like?
Oh, they're bailing out too. And one of them. Oh, yeah, hell yeah, he notices. There is a large gouge under one of the benches. It looks like one of the hooks on the tentacle ring raked across the bottom of the boat, hard enough to stove it.
Yeah, I think Skirt's out at this point. He's gonna wait for the next crest,
Yeah.
and he's gonna spot the other dinghy and dive out of the boat in that direction.
Dive out of the boat to swim for it.
Yeah.
Excellent. Give me a agility roll. You leap out of the boat at the crest of the next wave, right as the
One
tentacle
down.
comes crashing down on it, splitting it in half, and conspicuously the rest of the unnamed sailors are taken down into the inky blackness. I'm gonna need a swimming roll at a -2.
Well, as the only one who probably brought swimming, let me swim.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean... So, you guys are getting your bearings there on the dinghy, the two of you, went tearing through the water, just like a fish. Just comes Scroop, just hauling ass up to the side of the boat.
Try to pull them in.
Thanks
Yeah,
for
I'll take control of the oars
Yeah, excellent. Voting roll from the captain, no penalties. Strength roll from Chef, no penalties. He's a tiny little whip of a man. Yeah, you are thrown into the boat and dry,
Chef picks me up with one hand.
right? And as quickly as the narrative tentacles appeared, they seem to disappear. But you guys, again, are all going to give me notice rolls.
Do you see that? Do you see that there?
The water is filled with corpses and seaweed and flotsam and jetsam and boats that have rotted down to the water line where it's just a keel, you know? Like all kinds of debris that you guys cannot account for that was not here previously, even remotely. And you guys find yourself, where is my dinghy? There she blows. In much gentler seas. As quickly as the storm came on, it subsides. But I am going to need a common knowledge roll from everybody. A +2 from Brian and Captain Porter. So, Captain Porter, Chef, waiting on Brian's roll.
Sorry, I didn't hear what you said on the.
Common knowledge at a +2.
Thank you. I did hear you say it. I just register it.
Excellent. All of you can make out, well, first of all, that it was midday when the storm hit, like an hour and a half ago, and now it is twilight, right? That's awkward, right? All of you get that much. But as you guys look up into the twilight, you don't recognize a single constellation.
Yes, Scroot definitely doesn't know anything about that.
Pretty typical to orient yourselves, you know, using the stars at this point in the Age of Sail. No Big Dipper, no North Star, no Orion's Belt, nothing.
Are they just different or just no stars at all?
Different. Completely different starscape.
I point out, Captain, are you seeing this?
I am indeed, Master Chef. Are these
What are you
Oriental
guys looking at?
constellations?
What's our proximity to each other?
You guys are still separate. That's about to happen,
Okay.
don't worry.
Okay, sorry. I just didn't want to enter into dialogue and prematurely.
No, you are with a now somewhat half-conscious middle-aged gentleman, Ambrose. Man, your vision comes in from a pinprick. You cough a ragged breath, and your lungs are surprisingly stronger than you would have thought they were. As are your arms and your torso and your whole body. Oh, you feel damn fine.
Yes.
Your hands are not liver spotted and wrinkled. In fact, they look like the hands of a guy half your age.
Who the heck are you?
Well, now, you guys weren't even on the same ship. He was on the ship that you were piloting. So, who the heck are you is an apt question, but maybe without the inference, without the implication.
Okay, no implication.
Ambrose is aware of the other people around him for the first time after coming to, and like, I am, and then like catches as he hears his own voice, not being that of an old man.
Right? I am Sexy Peterson.
I am Ambrose Avon. And apparently I'm immortal.
Boy, partially delusional.
No, not at all. Underwater, my lungs were on fire. I was drowning, and the darkness came. And Now here I am. How old do I look?
I don't
Do you
know,
have a
but
mirror, sir?
I could try and drown you again and see if it happens.
Based on perhaps a different token, you could. But my skin is young again. If I had
Oh yeah.
a piece of silver, silver plate, I could see if my hair is black once more.
You can't. No. It's forbidden.
Check your
Tell me,
boobs.
man.
Check your
Well,
boobs.
I don't know what color your hair is. It's all wet, so it could honestly be a completely different color when it's dry. So,
It's black as night.
but being wet, it is black.
Yes.
Blonde when dry.
I haven't had
Fine.
black hair in 20 years.
Purple
30
hair,
years.
white eyes.
And
Check to see if your balls have dropped or not.
White hair, violet eyes. Yeah.
I will
Out
not
of
be,
two
I will not
worlds.
be participating in that check.
I check to see if my satchel is with me. My things, my.
Oh yeah, and for the first
Supplies.
time in several years, it's like, oh, not that satchel.
Oh.
Oh yeah. No, yeah.
Brian,
Most of
Brian,
your
could you assist
supplies,
him?
Nope.
your tincture, of course, is spent, but seems to have maybe it just fermented long enough, and finally maybe it was meant to be applied directly to the thigh. I mean, who knows? But I'll be damned if it didn't seem to work. You have found the fountain of youth. If you could only, in fact, replicate it.
It would be another 30 years to replicate it.
Well, you got the time.
I have the time now.
Uh,
Yes.
Why do you keep talking to yourself?
Ambrose Avon, Brian O'Brien, give me notice rolls.
You know, I could drown you. Easily. I mean, we can just this burning lungs thing. We could go back.
Brian O'Brien, you're in the middle. I could drown you when you see a dinghy, a proper boat, as opposed to the kind of, I'm flying Jack and a Titanic piece of ship debris that you find yourself currently drifting on with a 40-year-old guy that keeps cackling to himself and looking at his hands.
I know he survived a terrible incident, but he's gone completely mental.
Yeah, the hand cackling, it's a little, young again! I'm young, don't you see, boy? Like, it is a little, yeah.
Hey,
No.
crazy.
Yeah,
Look,
we're crazy.
There's people coming.
Especially
So-
since you weren't just on the, he clearly wasn't on the ship you were on. And
Yeah,
you just
I
pulled
mean,
him out of the water. He's real jubilant for a dude you found floating face down in the water. You know?
We were fired upon. Where's that? The other ship that was a danger. Did you? You were not one of the crew.
Give
Um,
me a common knowledge roll, Ambrose. Did you see this guy on there?
No,
You
he's not one of the crew.
definitely didn't. You factually remembered and took a log of every member of the crew, right? And this man was not in your entries and not in your memory at all.
What ship were you on?
You
And
know,
I kind of like reach for the dagger at my side, as any gentleman would have.
And threatened to drown you twice now, Give me. Well, no, you don't need a notice roll. He has a P emblazoned in his forehead. This is a touch before your time period is. That was really a common practice for the branding of pirates. So I am not sure that culturally you would be aware of said phenomenon. But he quite clearly has the initial P branded into his forehead. Yeah.
His face is tattooed like a savage.
Why do you have an F on your forehead? The Middle English or whatever.
Yeah. Will be a PH for the F. Yeah.
well,
What is this? What is the name of your ship? Your captain?
I don't actually know. What was the name of my ship? There, pirate god.
The name of your ship was the Vengeance.
That's not a pirate ship name. I was on a merchant ship, a simple merchant ship. The lettering is nothing. It's nothing.
And your captain's name was Edward Lowe.
I was under the, sail of Edward Lowe. Oh,
Name means nothing to you,
yeah.
Yeah.
Ambrose. It would definitely mean something to Captain Porter, but
I don't suppose a man would be on a dinghy and have saved me if he was also
floating door, pretty much, not a dinghy. Yeah.
a floating door on this raft.
At least he
Raft,
put you
yeah.
on it and make you float beside it.
Right? No
Yeah,
doubt. There was room
crazy
on that
there.
door for 2 fucking people. It's selfish.
Once more.
I won't
What do you
let
appraise of our
on the
situation?
door.
I'm sorry. Were you talking to me or to yourself?
I'm looking at you. I'm talking to you. What do you appraise of our situation?
Well, I think we're better off now than we were 10 minutes ago. That's for certain.
Are they just ignoring the dinghy? I thought they saw it.
They did. They are. They're bickering with one another.
Oh, what are we gonna? Are we gonna
You guys
row
hear
our
that
little
bickering?
door over there? Are we
Guys,
gonna,
give me a notice roll. Everybody on the other boat. Yeah. Screw,
Captain Jonas.
like,
Screw
set
and,
sail to
Chef.
the dinghy?
you definitely hear bickering before you see them.
Captain, Captain, and I point over there. 2 guys arguing.
One of
On
them
what
has
appears to be a
another.
door.
One of them has an Irish brogue carrying on the wind, and the other one is talking like the King James Bible.
An Irishman. Can't say I approve, but who knows? Perhaps.
But
in
he is
these
talking like the King
terrible
James
conditions we
Bible
should.
in an English accent. So there's that. A Bretonian,
All
I
right,
guess,
let's-
accent at that point.
Let's make for them. Perhaps they're other survivors from our ship.
Start steering over there.
Yeah, boating roll. +2, and made by the most proficient member, which I have to assume is Porter.
Yeah, pretty.
I have an 8.
I got a 10.
Yeah.
You can roll to assist between the two of you. It should be no big
Sure.
feat. Oh, yeah. Easily, roar up and maneuver to the 2 guys floating on the door bickering with one another.
You
One
guys
once
gonna
again.
keep
Oh.
arguing, or do you want to get in the dinghy?
Well, bring your ship over here.
Yeah,
This
I'll
appears to
steer
be a
us up
door of some
alongside the
sort.
door.
I put my hand out. Say, come on, young men, get in.
Captain Porter, you
Yep.
knew every member of your crew. Neither of these were members of your crew. One of them is clearly branded a pirate.
Which
Smack
Scroot's
dab in the
eyes,
middle of the forehead.
Scroot's eyes light up.
Yeah, when you see the P.
Oh, undeniably.
Yeah.
Scrooge
He's
wants that key.
fanboying right now.
And then sees the letter P on his head.
And
On
then
the
he
other
sees the
hand-
letter P. Yeah.
On the other hand, Captain Porter's face just goes pretty dark.
Yeah.
You're a pirate. I would have expected no less from an.
A pirate, is that what that P stands for?
Oi.
Boy.
Well, I'll look around. Is there any trace of their ship left at all? I mean, you said there's a bunch of ships
There's
wrecked.
tons of debris, but you never saw their ship.
Yeah.
You saw a tentacle monster and then a bunch of debris, but nothing that looks like a ship that would have been carrying these guys. And they don't look like they've been here for long. They're not sunburnt to hell, right? They're, not covered in salt accretions.
Well, better potential friend, I suppose, than another dead sailor on our hands. Can't leave more people to die after that catastrophe. Master
Yes,
Chef,
the
bring 'em on.
attack was devastating.
What do you know of the attack?
It was a storm had come upon us, and I came up to the top deck to scold the captain for not better sailing us around it like any good seaman would have. And when I got below decks to secure my alchemical set, a cannonball went from one side of the hull to the other. And we began to sink. We were
Brian.
under attack.
Oh, Brian, give me a spirit roll to maintain your composure here as he describes the action of your ship clearly attacking his ship. Yeah, you're cool. You got it cool. You're undercover. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow, a can you don't say. Oh, golly, mister.
It certainly came very close to just taking my head off.
I have
You
a
said
question.
a cannonball. Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Go ahead.
No, was their ship the ancient, like the old looking ship that?
The ship that
Fired on us?
Ambrose was on specifically, the ship that
Okay.
Faye, Jonas, and Scroot were on, was an entirely separate thing.
Okay, separate ship.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Captain.
I don't recall seeing any cannons, or rather hearing cannons, or seeing another ship, and yet here we are. Did you see the monster?
No, there is no monster. There was another ship that fired upon us, and then we sank to the bottom. All hands lost, except, I would say, especially myself. But except myself.
Oh.
Monster, he says. Now, Master Chef, Master Scroot, am I mistaken? Is there no monster?
I saw the tentacles.
Of course there was a monster. And I look, I want to find one of those fish people that I saw, if I can see one. And I just want to point and I say, and look at that. That's not human.
Give me a notice roll. Scroot?
Everybody? Oh.
Just Scroot.
Nope. I promise there was a fish person.
You point to what is clearly just a bunch of seaweed.
Captain, I suggest we let him in the dinghy. Scroot is useless. It's just me and you.
No, I totally agree. Like, my ship too was attacked by another creature, another monster. It's atrocious out there. You know.
Oh man, what did the monster look like?
We don't ask.
We don't ask, yeah. No, yeah, 100%. No, that makes sense. Monster, that tracks. Get on the boat.
Kraken, giant octopus, something. Tentacles.
Yeah.
I
Look
don't
like
know.
a fairy.
30, 50 feet long.
Yeah. Master Chef, pull him up.
I pull him in.
Easily done, no difficulties. Everybody is now in the dinghy. So, unbeknownst to everybody but Chef, there are 2 provisions on the boat. There are 5 peoples. 2 days pass. At sea, no sign of another ship.
No
As
sign of
far as
land.
you can tell, you're caught up in some kind of a current leading you generally somewhere. Brian, O'Brien,
Boy,
give me a notice roll. Something tells you.
can I spend the Benny? I haven't done it yet.
Why would you?
No, you
You
made
want to
it.
do better than notice?
I don't know. I mean,
4 is
I'm-
4 is target number. If you hit a 4 on just about anything, you
Okay.
succeeded. But
It won't. all right. I just keep forgetting to spend them, and I want to use them in the system so that I know
Oh, yeah.
how it works.
If you want to spend one just to I mean, I get one, so give me a Benny, man. Yeah, just trade it out to me. No,
I
no need
just-
for that.
Okay. Well, when it's
Then you
when it
roll a
comes time-
1.
Right, then you roll
Yeah, I
a
know.
1. You haven't seen any birds in 2 days. You use them frequently for navigation, right? Birds stick to the shoreline, fishing ships, stuff like that. You spot them on the horizon. You generally have indication of the direction you should be heading to meet the nearest landmass. And there has been no indication of the avian variety whatsoever over the last 2 days. But something deep in your, your yerbals, right?
Yep.
Tells you that the direction you're going is the direction of birds. I'm not sure how you convey that to the rest of these people. Also, Chef, you have 2 meals. There are 5 people. You can split rations to half rations, right? And feed 4 people who will take a vigor roll at a +2 to see if they avoid the fatigue then. Or you can store them for yourself and make everybody take a vigor roll on the daily.
What about fish? Are there any fish?
We could attempt to fish with survival rolls if somebody could describe me the scenario in which they are fishing.
Well, if the fish was big enough, I think I would loose an arrow and try to shoot it.
So, on a dinghy, in the middle of the ocean,
Yeah.
you're just gonna stand stock silent, wait for a fish to get in the shadow of the boat, and loose an arrow at it?
If I'm starving, absolutely.
Yeah, fantastic. Give me a survival roll at a -1.
Sure you don't want shooting?
No, I'm afraid you gotta spot the fish. You gotta have that all aligned. No.
-3.
Once you do see a shadow under the water, but it is not the size of something that you would want to shoot an arrow at recreationally. And as quick as it comes, it is gone.
Have we been continuing to pass the various like bits of?
Yes, it does appear to be thinning, though, now that you have been at it for a day.
Okay.
It was
have
very
we spotted...
dense before. Go ahead.
Okay. Have we spotted any like downed sails that are just kind of floating?
Why don't you give me a notice roll at a +1? Pretty common thing in the floatsome sea. Yes, in fact.
Okay. So, my thought is to see if we can pull one of the sails aboard, or just part of the sail even, and maybe like de-thread it basically to get some fishing.
Yeah, that would be a simple repair roll.
Oh boy. Is anybody good at this? I'm not.
No.
I don't have a repair.
No,
I do
sir.
have survival though.
Well, it's better than anything I got.
Just a simple repair roll to make some fishing line out of a sail. Anybody's allowed to try. All of you are allowed to try it factually once.
I'll roll.
Yeah, exploding dice, no reason not to.
I'm still looking over the back of the boat trying to figure out what that shadow was.
Right?
Nobody.
That's terrible.
Y'all can use bennies.
Now, well, yeah, if they haven't already spent like 9 of them, blown through them. Anybody got an adventure card they want to blow on? Let's get some fishing
I don't know
line.
where's the adventure card at?
If you open your character sheet, it is the very last tab running down the right-hand side ADV card, it says.
Oh.
Chef,
Oh, nice.
it's been a day. What are you doing with a ration, buddy?
I whisper in the captain's ear. Captain, I've got 2 rations.
Do I notice?
Give me a stealth roll from Chef opposed by your notice roll, Brian. You do not notice, Scroot. You're still like, what the fuck was that in the water?
Trying to find more fish people bodies.
Right.
I promise there was one. You guys gotta believe me.
You trying to notice, Brian?
No, that was me. I was the one who said that.
Oh,
Yeah.
No, then you definitely do not notice, yeah. And you guys can continue your conversation in
Sorry.
hushed tones.
Sorry.
Okay, I'll lean back, and you can tell I'm pretty eyeing those rations pretty hungrily, but kind of put my hand on his shoulder. Bless you, chef, but alas, I don't know that I can accept. Would mean that some of our other crew members would perish. Curse the traditions.
Fine. I pull out the rations, divide it up. Though I think you said we could only half it.
Yep, it's half rations for the day, but it will allow you guys to make your vigor rolls at a +2, whereas he will make a straight vigor roll to avoid a level of fatigue from the starvation.
Alright, split it up.
Nobly forsaking.
you want us to vigor roll right now?
Oh yeah, you're eating.
Okay.
Just a straight vigor roll.
Straight vigor roll. +2 for you guys that are eating the half ration. Should be flat, and he should be at a -2, but I'm being kind.
I'm assuming I didn't get one.
You got a half ration +2. He handed them out
I
to
feel
everybody
great.
but the captain.
Okay, sorry. I was.
Yeah, but the fates are with you, man, and honorable. So shines light in a weary world. Yeah.
I subsist off self-sacrifice.
Everybody subsists off of self-sacrifice, in fact. And that is fantastic. So it'll only be another full 24 hours at sea when you guys notice a coastline off in the distance and birds. Brian
Let's make our
O'Brien,
way.
Hi.
would like a spell casting.
I'm gonna use
Now
that
might be
Benny
a
now.
time for that Benny.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I just back it into the chat,
Yeah.
Yep.
and then so that just allows me to reroll. Okay.
Come on.
Humbug. Oh
There
wait.
we
Hey, hey.
Wait. Sorry, I don't know why there's a modifier on there.
That's
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I can do the math. But you see the first bird you have seen overhead in days. And it's like looking into you. Have you ever had a bird make eye contact with you before? Probably not. This one
Nope.
is.
Like
You'd be
intimately?
surprised.
Is it intimately looking at
Yeah,
me?
no, it's like, the careless whisper starts to play. He's up there with the sax, using the feathers.
Oh.
No, but a thought sears across your mind, and it seems to be coming from the bird.
what's her name?
Danger.
Danger.
What's this now about danger?
Oh, sorry, Captain. The wind feels a little weird right now. I know that's gonna sound crazy.
This bird's talking to me.
But
Yes,
and also that
who's mad now?
that single bird is flying alone. It's flying quite peculiar, if you don't mind me saying. Did I mention I was a chief navigator of my previous ship? So got a little bit of experience with this captain.
So between the pirate brand on his forehead and the absolute craziness he is talking, his attempt to persuade you of a talking bird and the winds will be a persuasion resisted by your spirit, and he'll be doing it at a -2. Because that's lunacy. A pirate's, oh man, the bird told me go this way. If anything, you turn that shit around, right?
So I have a -2.
You have a -2 on your persuasion, resisted by his spirit.
All right, Captain. I know this sounds slightly crazy, but you gotta trust me. Like the wind is telling me that something is happening out there. It's not gonna be good.
Fairly solid persuasion roll. Oh,
Oh.
not quite though, not quite. I mean,
Yeah.
there's something in his voice that speaks to an earnestness that catches you for a minute. But I mean, he's talking about talking birds, and the wind doesn't feel right, and
I
he's
know
saying
it.
it all in an Irish accent. You know what I mean?
Group believes every word.
Oh yeah, just wide-eyed, just
Wow, pirates have magical powers?
Trust the word of an Irish pirate, right? We'll just keep going the same way, ignoring his word.
excellent. So, you come across a, well, I mean, it could best be described as a jungle continent. There is lush, thick forest carpeting the vast majority, and very few spots to set in, even in a ship as small as a dinghy. Jagged black cliff faces swell up 50, 60 feet almost everywhere you look, leading directly to abrupt, thick canopy. In order to find a spot to beach, we are going to need to make a collective boating roll. And it will be happening at a -2, as is the standard for any procedure involving this ship interacting with a landmass.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Man.
Oh boy. Well.
Well, that's a yikes, dog. The
Ambrose saves the day.
Untrained.
well,
2 raises.
Incredible.
Woo, we're done.
You're welcome, this young, virile body of mine.
collective, I'm afraid. And his raises do not beat the failures, despite them being oh, do they? Let me see here. Shit.
Significant
Let me
raise.
see here. 15.
You have several pennies to
7
for-
to 13.
That's just 2 raises. Yeah, no. We could drop
Mine-
pennies if anybody wants to.
Mine's
Oh.
unskilled, so Benny
No.
doesn't really help.
I'm doing a Benny. I'll do it.
Yeah, me too.
Dropping pennies.
guess I
Alright, let's
will.
re-roll. Session's running over here
Oh.
anyway, so might as well
There we
get
go.
rid of them. Alright, that
Yeah.
changes the calculus a bit. Ambrose says, wait a minute, isn't that a coral reef, right? And you guys narrowly managed to avoid being stoved a couple of 100 yards out from a crescent-shaped beach. And find yourself, well, on a crescent-shaped beach.
Ambrose is gonna hop out athletically as
Oh,
much
yeah.
as his
Like
body
a
can.
goddamn ninja.
Mm,
Hey, where is everybody else? Where is
There
everybody?
we
What in the Sam hell? I need more people in the combat tracker.
oh, my
Ambrose,
old token.
oh yeah, I'll change your token. God,
Mm.
this guy. I still look old in my art. I knew you drew 2 character arts for me, but mwah. No, what's the point if it's not new? We'll do it at the end of the session. But alright, let's delete these tokens. Let's add all allies. And you guys, yeah, up in the surf.
Why is there 2 of me?
That's an excellent question.
Nice.
Because there are 2 of you in the combat tracker. A clone of Scrooge comes wandering out of the water. Truly, it is a
Holy
mystical
crap.
land.
First fish people, now 2 of a twin.
And twins. That's not a Coors commercial.
Is that a blood trail?
It is interesting that you note. There are several things that you see on the beach here. One, a massive skeleton of some aquatic long dead creature, right? That none of you can identify. A couple, you guys have seen whale skeletons. Not a whale skeleton. Secondly, a skiff larger than a dinghy, an 8-man craft that appears to have several of the planks missing from the bottom, and a mast but no sail. With a bit of ingenuity and repair work, it could become a pilotable vessel.
Oh, well, thank God we picked that sail up in the water there and didn't tear it apart.
That's right.
Couldn't.
Ambrose is going to examine this skeleton in detail. His curiosity is inflamed.
It appears to be some large aquatic predator, given the sharpness of its teeth and the reinforcement of the jaw structure. Quite unlike
They
any
look-
you've ever seen.
I'm
Faye
going to
looks
chip
at
out a
whatever.
couple of these teeth and pocket them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Faye looks at this, whatever the hell, this trail of blood or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, I will need a tracking roll. There are clear drag marks leading off into the jungle. And indeed, a light spattering of blood.
Captain. I
What do
call
you have,
Captain.
Master Chef?
Look, blood leading into the forest. Pointing the trail.
I'll head over there and examine it.
With that, give me a notice roll. Everybody.
Wow.
Yeah, not bad, guys.
Everyone.
It takes no time at all for you to notice the bushes shake and part, and a low rasping sound, quite unlike anything you have ever heard, as a 7-foot-tall velociraptor with yellow striations comes out of the bush. Literally the largest reptile any of you have ever laid eyes on before in your life, and leaps down from the cliff above.
What kind of reptile is?
By the heaven above.
It is eyeing you hungrily and pacing back and forth, maintaining a distance. It seems to have a preternatural intelligence. It's not just like an animal, right? It's observing you.
Captain, we need food. That looks like it's food.
About 10 provisions worth were it to be butchered.
Avon climbs into the boat.
Yeah, Scrooge's following suit.
Appears to be wide.
Thing claws the sand twice, raises its head to the air, and lets out a fearsome and it'll be continued next week. Thank you so much for joining us on our very first episode of 50 Fathoms, the Savage Worlds Pirate role-playing experience extravaganza event. I have been your host, Will Thompson. These have been the League of Gentlemen Explorers, and from the League to yourselves, may your dice always roll high. You have a great night, guys. Thanks for watching. And tune in, because this is only going to get crazier.